I'm here.
Cashamaniacs.
Geo Gearheads.
Hey, welcome to the Geo Gearheads. This is episode 514. I had to look because we've gone past 500 and it's really difficult to count now. I've run out of fingers and toes and friends with enough fingers and toes. It takes a lot of people at this point, and well, my family's not that big. And people have a problem with me counting their toes, but that's not what we're here to talk about tonight. What we're here to talk about is one of my favorite topics. It's a randomize. This is randomize. And because there aren't any vowels in it whatsoever, but trying not to laugh is our host, Daryl W4.
I thought it was just C times 5.
Oh, CX5.
Yeah.
Isn't that a car?
Oh, you know what? It probably is. I think it's one of the gas guzzlers from
It sounds
Cadillac.
like it sounds like a Mazda to me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know why.
You know, it does sound like a Mazda.
CX5. I just,
Uh-huh.
who knows?
Kind of like the RX, but yeah, CX. Yeah.
Crossover could be CRV is Honda.
Correct. So, yeah, we're getting into cars again already. Wow. That didn't take long.
No. And you know, you just put a random collection of letters together and you don't have to license anything for your car name.
This is true.
Yeah.
One of the most interesting car rides I ever had, though, was with a few engineers from GM. We were going out to lunch and, you know, weekend hobby kind of thing, of course. And we're riding in one of the crossovers that they had just recently come out with at the time, talking about it. Oh, you know, what's the gas mileage like? Oh, it gets 12. What are we doing wrong that we can't get any gas mileage out of our cars?
12. Well,
12.
it's at least double digits until you punch it, and then it becomes a 9.
One of them was an electrical engineer, another was a manufacturing engineer, and I can't remember what the other guy did, but none of them had anything to do with the production of the drivetrains. So they were just, absolutely flabbergasted at how inefficient their cars were being.
Hey, according to CP 590, the Mazda CX5 is a small SUV. My instincts were right.
I'm wondering if that's the one that was the Escape, because they had, the Escape was the Freelander on the Range Rover brand, and it was available from Mazda, so that could have been that one.
I know Ford and Mazda have done several joint production lines.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of that over in Flat Rock, which also isn't too far from me.
Oh, sounds very level.
Hashing around the plant. Yeah, they kind of refer to it as level pebble around here, but that kind of refers to just about everywhere. Fairly level. We don't have a whole lot of terrain.
Yeah, you know what? Terrain is overrated.
Especially around here.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, look, there's a hill. That has to be a 4.
Yeah. I remember, I grew up in Ohio. And when I was back visiting, my dad took me out. I think he wanted to take me to an Arthur Treacher's that still had a fried bologna sandwich. He says, you got to try this thing. Okay. And we happened to go over the highest point in Ohio, which as you're going down the road, it's just a small rise in the road and then back down. I want to say it's like 459 feet. I'm probably way off, but you look around, you go, this is the high point. Wow. That's nothing here.
Well, one of the more interesting COVID activities that we had done was hosted by a British YouTuber out of Paris.
How international already.
Yeah. So he decided we were all, all of his viewers, which we weren't even a subscriber yet at this point, should go out and take a picture or film themselves at the highest point within like 10 miles of themselves. And here's the website that you can find out what the highest point was. So our highest point ends up being in a park not too far from here with caches we hadn't found. So yeah, we're going to go out and try to find it, right? It's literally just like a little crest. And you're like, is this it? Or nope, that's just a pile of leaves. Okay, so the pile of leaves is actually taller, but it's not really land. So okay, we're going to do it here. It was a lot of fun trying to find that actual highest point. I don't know if we actually did or not, because how are we really going to tell?
GPS. I mean,
well,
obviously,
GPS was just all over the place because it's in the middle of tree cover. Our altitude was definitely wrong. We're standing near a puddle, and it was telling us we were higher than when we were at the top of the pile of leaves. So, yeah, it was wrong. And, of course, when we go back down toward the puddle, it was reading something else entirely. So, yeah, that wasn't helping us too much.
Oh, I was way off. So the highest point in Ohio is in Bellefontaine at 1,549 feet.
Oh, fine. Just lie to us.
Yeah.
See, we have a very small chat room, so I'm not sure anyone's here to fact check you. You can probably get away with it as long as you don't tattle on yourself.
I trust in Google. That's probably my first problem, is trusting Google. And
probably.
I think Google's just using Wikipedia. No, Britannica. Oh, Britannica. They sound British. Oh, so they must be evil in the sci-fi movies.
Yeah. All right, let's actually get to a little article that got posted, because it is time for the Reach the Peak board to reset, which means we have to cover it. Did you reach the peak? Didn't look like it.
No.
Okay. But it resets on December 6th. So for a lot of people, they're probably going to be listening to this about the time that it resets.
Ooh.
Before we get into that, though, how did you do with Kilimanjaro?
Not good. I had a family emergency last weekend, which took away my time. And then I thought, well, that's it. The streak is over. I'm not going to be able to do it. Until I realized, wait a minute. That doesn't reset until Monday. I've got one more weekend. So this weekend, I've got to go out and hit it hard.
Yeah, you can probably pull it off. And we pulled it off last weekend by doing 10 stages of Adventure Lab, and had a blast doing it. But we didn't get any caching in. The problem was, it was also the only caching that we've done in November. The other 4,000 points or whatever were still in October.
Okay. Well,
it had to be October because no, because it didn't reset until November. So how do we get all those? I think there's something wrong with our stats, because I had looked and it said we didn't find any stats this month.
I've heard rumors that there's
something going on,
something wrong with the leaderboard. Nonetheless,
not with the leaderboard, but I was having problem. Anyway, I had checked our stats page because we're trying to hit the one cache a day for the year, and it was showing on the stats board that there's nothing for the month of November this year. Let me check again and see what it has to say. And guess what?
Do tell.
Oh, it is saying that I have 16 now, but it's not showing the bar on the graph. Huh. Interesting issue. But yeah, so we definitely have found caches in November aside from this one. I am only 14 caches away from one a day for 2021.
Oh, you know,
That's
I'd have
that's
to hit
not
hard,
so
but
yeah,
I'm
that's not
within
such
striking.
a easy way to do it, or to, easy thing to do, because we've only got 16 caches for November and 12 for October.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not doing that well. That's a shoe in.
Your trending is not going in the right direction.
Well, we're trending back up, but yeah, October had some really bad, nasty weather, including a lot of flooding. So we didn't get out nearly as much as we wanted to. And our
Mhm.
big event for October got rained out.
Yep.
So we didn't get those
Yeah.
caches. It's not
Yeah.
been a good year for us,
We've
and we had
experienced
some success, but not too good.
experienced a lot of rain out here. In fact, I just heard the other day we've had the wettest November on record, and I want to say it's the wettest month on record. We've experienced more rain in the month of November than Las Vegas gets in 13 years.
Wow. Not that Las Vegas gets that much rain, but just to have that kind of number.
Exactly.
Seabeck Tribe says, if you do an adventure lab for your one day, some of Project GC doesn't like those for some of the states. Oh, she meant the stats.
Oh, for one a day, for finding a cache a day.
Well, yeah, some what she's saying is that adventure labs don't get counted in all of those stats.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be that if I had done a bunch of adventure labs, that wasn't showing up on Project GC. But I checked both Project GC and geocaching.com. But I think there's something going on with the chart on GC, because the chart doesn't have the bar, but it is showing it. So something is drawing funny. I think it's probably because I've been caching long enough now that it has to scroll that graph. And that does cause some problems from time to time. Anyway, so getting back to the Reach the Peak resetting, this month it's going to be Denali with its souvenir earned at 6,190 points. Of course, you get the base camp for 350 points, which basically you find a cache and you do it.
Right. Now, just to make an acknowledgement, this is the first time the base camp has raised in altitude. It's been 325 all, for the previous month, and this month or December coming up, it's going to be 350.
Yeah, I didn't really catch that, to be honest. But the points this time are highest for the multi-cache at 750. And for reference, Kilimanjaro was 600. Find a cache with 10 favorite points is 700 this time. Last time that wasn't a thing. They didn't have the 10 plus favorite points. Find an Earth cache is 600 versus 500 last time. Mystery cache is only 550 versus the 700 last time. Find a mystery. Sorry, I just did that one. But finding a letterbox is 500 versus 450 last time. And Adventure Labs go up to 425. They were 400. And log a found it on any other type of non-event cache, excluding webcams, 350 points, which was only 325.
Right. So the points are going up to help you reach that higher peak without, finding umpteen million geocaches. I just happened to do the math of how many Adventure Lab locations is it going to take to reach the peak for Denali, and it's 14 and a half. So if you do 3 5-stop Adventure Labs, you'll have it done.
Which isn't so easy to do for me anymore. I have to actually drive a good distance to get to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not hitting areas that have more than 2. So I'd have to go do 2 in one weekend and go hit the other one somewhere else. But especially this time of year, I do like the Adventure Labs for this, because they don't necessarily need me to take off my gloves or mittens and manipulate a cache container to open it or sign the log.
Right. Right. But if you're driving that far, aren't you going to places where there are caches you haven't found yet?
Surprisingly, we haven't been getting a whole lot of caches in these areas. I don't know if I've previously cached out the area, which is very likely. And we're just going back for, the adventure labs that someone has placed, or if there's legitimately not that many caches being placed out there.
Interesting.
All right. Next one, I figured we'd actually hit on a little bit. Before that, Seaback Tribe. The interesting thing is that the average adventure each month has been about 15.
Yeah. I think that's really what they're shooting for.
Yeah, they've been changing the points enough that I was wondering about that. Because I think the first or second month they had done, like, you pretty much just had to do one adventure lab. One 5-point adventure lab. It might have been more than that, but it was really not even too full. So one month they kind of highlighted the adventures and, stripped it back. But yeah, so, I like the idea of doing the adventure labs. It's just, I really kind of want to do more caches. I just don't have the caches to do. And I'm running into the problem of there's not enough adventure labs to fill this all up. But in any case, I wanted to hit on the AR trackable thing that they're doing with the...
Why, Daryl, what was that you mysteriously just took out of the frame?
It jumped out of my hand. But I don't believe I did that. I actually do believe I did that because my hands have been bothering me with the dry weather. In any case, the big thing with the free trackables you get at geocaching.com store, if you buy X number of dollars worth of material, have a AR component in the app. So only pre-members get it. You have to go into the settings, enable the feature. I had to figure out how to log a trackable because it's been so long since I've used the app and they removed the trackable button. So now you have to go into the map, hit search, and then you can search for the trackable. Once you open the trackable itself in the app, you have a 3D button, which is kind of cool.
Interesting.
I don't think it's that useful yet. It's kind of a beta feature in search of a purpose.
Okay.
But I wonder if there's something cool that this could lead to. Are we maybe looking at the next stage of adventure labs where now you can tell a story with the trackable and put the trackable in real life and it does the photos and everything? Or maybe is this the next step toward them building out AR in the app so we could have AR caches again, but this time actually in app? I don't know, but it's an interesting flight of fancy. It's going to be a long time before they're ready to do anything with it, in my opinion, after playing with this one, because it's literally just throwing that trackable into the frame. And I don't think it's like a photo of the trackable. It's, I think, just the illustration. You kind of put it there, it scans the room, then it pops up where it thinks the trackable was. And in a couple of the tests, it ended up like many feet away on the floor where it shouldn't have been. It's sitting here on the ottoman and all of a sudden it's like in the hallway. So it wasn't working very well.
Or was it running away from you?
It could have been running away from me, but I don't believe so. I think it just wasn't working all that well to position it in the frame. And it could be that it worked better if I had done it like outside or in a room that wasn't as cluttered, because of course we have boxes and suitcases and all kinds of stuff all over right now. So yeah, I can't really speak to how good it's going to work in ideal conditions because I don't know how what the ideal conditions are.
Right.
But it certainly wasn't my quick test this evening.
Bummer.
It is cool, but is it going to be useful? We'll have to find out in probably, 2-3 years. But it's cool that they're trying something else out that they're rolling out in the geocachinger app. And, we'll see how people think it comes out and if they'll have another one this summer or next year or whatever.
I still like that they're trying new things, right? It may not all be a hit, but as long as they keep trying things, it'll keep us interested and moving forward and looking for interesting items, trackables, and perhaps moving this back into geocaches, making the AR caches a permanent thing.
Well, exactly. We don't know what the future holds, but at least they're giving it a shot. They're getting some real world feedback. And in this case, it's way too early to be useful. It could be that they roll it out as part of a promotion or a game or something in the not so distant future. The next version of what did they call the museum one? The gem heist one?
Mystery at the Museum.
Was it okay? So the next version of something like that, maybe you're going to actually find gems that you can take pictures with. Selfies with gems. Okay, not that exciting. We've got the lenses around, but hey, cool, and I'm glad they're giving it a shot.
Exactly.
We'll see how it actually works, but it's an experimental feature. It's labeled that way. It could be that nothing comes of it, but at least they're trying.
What app did you have to use to see the AR animation?
It's it's not really animation. It was a static image in the 3D space. But it's just the geocachinger app.
Okay, so it's in the official app.
Correct. On iOS and Android, as I understand. But you have to go to your settings as a premium member. You don't have the option otherwise. But there's a whole...
I can do it right here.
You can. But there's a whole menu of experimental features, some of which I turned on and, don't really use the app much. But I turned them on because when I'm in the app, it's useful. One of them, I believe, was the find count on the logs. So where it shows the name, it will also show how many people found it. That I find very, very helpful. So if I go and
AR, look at that.
Yep.
Add or remove favorite points, show favorite points on logs. Why wouldn't that be on?
Well, it's experimental features, so they're off by default. So if you are a premium member, make sure to go into that experimental menu and toggle on a bunch of those. They're all beta, so your mileage may vary. But again, this is the premium only. They're giving a little bit something extra to the premium folks that they can test and try. And things like that favorite points is a big thing. I want that favorite point.
Exactly. So let me see here. If I can. How about that? There you go. That's what it looks like.
Okay. So now.
So obviously,
go and discover the trackable.
You just go and click here and here and here.
Well, go and discover the trackable. And we'll see if this will work on screen. As we wait, while he tries to go, just hit the map.
I was going to say, how do you get there?
Yeah, this was my problem. I had to hit the map. You hit the magnifying glass to, find your...
there you go. And then you can search for
Then you have trackables. And then you enter the code. SGYRCQ.
Look at that. View in 3D.
Yep. And then see now if you can maybe scan this on screen when it comes up. Okay. You have to hit the AR mode. and then it wants you to line that up. See, and now you've got that just hanging there. Oh, see, yours isn't asking to recognize it in real space. So there you go.
Interesting. And yes, you can take a picture with it. Shall
Yes.
I take a picture? Take a picture of Daryl.
You can take a picture, and you can share the picture.
What do I have? I have AR object. What does this do? That sends to people.
Yep. Your share sheet.
Oh,
there were some markups. Yep. So
well, there you go.
It's a cool concept.
How was that? We just did that in real time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yours actually worked better than mine did, though. So it could be a phone issue.
Full size.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm on an iPhone 11, which is now, 2 years old. So it could be a underpowered phone issue.
Well, mine's a new 13, so.
Right. But definitely
I can't
cool.
believe I actually have a more newer phone than you, Daryl.
Well, and I'm about ready to switch to the Pixel.
Oh, what?
I am so annoyed with the gestures and a lot of the UI changes that they've made. And it's gotten so much worse with 15. I fight with my phone to get stuff done now. So I'm thinking when it comes time in February or March to replace the phone, I'm very likely to go to the Pixel. And it's not just the phone. The watch has gotten a lot harder to use too.
I don't have a watch, but I miss the home button. I'll say that.
Well, I don't
liked it.
I don't object to getting rid of the home button. I object to how poorly the gestures work and how much they interfere. Like most of the time, the gestures just get in the way. I try to swipe up from the bottom of an app, for instance, to get a drawer out of the app, and instead I minimize the app.
Right.
The gestures on the phone override what the app is trying to do, and the apps haven't been rewritten in 3 years. Yeah, in 3 years they haven't rewritten the apps to make it work right. If they haven't done it in 3 years,
they're not going to.
It's not likely to happen, and it's been getting worse.
Is that just the app developers that you're working with?
I don't think so, because it's too predominant. So, we'll see. Just Finding Our Way wants to know if I'm looking at the 6 or the 6 Pro. Not the Pro for sure. And that's the Pixel. I don't want to spend that much money on a phone. And I actually was looking at getting the 13 mini, the iPhone 13 mini, because even the 11 and the standard 13 are big enough that they get in the way. When I started looking at the mini, it's a little too small. So I'm running into one of those, nothing really works the way I want it to. So, that's a different problem. As we babble about other stuff once again, because it's totally random. Well, it's randomized. That's what we do.
It's supposed to be.
Why don't we move on to some email from Billy Robson?
Would love to do nothing more.
Are you sure there's nothing else you'd rather do?
Maybe something. Billy Robson, not his real name, by the way, says...
Are you sure?
Yes.
You're positive?
Yes, I've met the man several times.
Okay, well, don't give away the secret.
Oh. I can tell you how he got his name.
Well, but that would also create problems for him, I'm sure.
Oh. Yeah, he'll tell you. Anyway, was it last week or a couple of weeks ago we talked about using
2 weeks ago.
A Cricut to cut out vinyl, right? Make vinyl stickums to put on your car. Billy Robson says, "Hey guys, I had my son make me a trackable for the back of my car on the vinyl cutter they have at the Alberta Museum where he works. It's made with a heavy vinyl and has been on that car since 2018. On my old car, I removed the decal to sell it, and I could still see the numbers clearly in the unfaded paint. Great shows. Keep them coming, and thank you." Well, thank you, Billy Robson, or whoever you might be.
Did you happen to check out the photo that he sent along with this?
I did not.
I wanted to share it, but I didn't get a chance to email him because it is clearly visible. It's I'm gonna guess like a Subaru Impreza, where
Okay.
the back corner of the car, like from the roof line to the trunk, is covered in the logo for the trackables and the
Oh,
tracking
yeah.
number.
Oh, nice.
It is a beautiful job. This
it's not
is
a Subaru, by the
really
way.
what's that?
It's not a Subaru.
Oh, can you tell what it is?
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
Well, I don't know. Should I tell it or not?
Well, yeah, in this case we
It's a
should.
Toyota.
Oh,
The logo's clear available, but the trackable number is quite large and at like a 45-degree angle that goes from the spoiler over the window, across the back window, and then onto the driver rear fender with, letters about 2-3 inches high.
yeah, something like that. It's a beautiful job.
Yeah,
It
it's really well
really,
done.
yeah, it's really something to be proud of. But I have to say, I'm not surprised that I get the Subarus and the Toyotas
They
mixed
look
up.
very similar.
Yeah, they're made in the same plants now, so
Oh, are they?
yeah. Yeah, Subaru couldn't really make manufacturing work so well because they were too small volume. They couldn't keep up and costs were getting too high. So they struck a deal with Toyota. And as I understand, it's been working out very well. But when I was actually shopping for cars, I looked at the Impreza, and it had a lot of little quirks to it that were like the Toyota quirks and the Subaru quirks in the same car.
You were not impressed?
No. I really wanted to like the Impreza because it was the all new Impreza, and it has a lot to like.
Right.
But when I actually sat in it, even just doing the test drives, it's like this is not a car I can go for longer trips in. It was going to cost me substantially more than the car that I ended up with and get worse fuel efficiency.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, I can't do that.
The Impreza is a nice little car.
Yeah.
My father recently bought a Subaru. Well, recently, it's been over a year now. But that's in car speak, that's still relatively new, right?
Yeah.
He just put over 5,000 miles on it. So, I mean, that's all the mileage. So it's still basically a brand new car. And he got the Subaru Outback. Very nice to ride in.
Yeah. Well, the Outback is one of those that gets great ratings for being easy in and out for people who have mobility issues. So, nice, big, easy doors to get in and out of. The seats are right there. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I do like about mine for a car. Mine came in like third place. The Outback was number one in some list by like retired persons of the year or whatever it was.
Well, that fits for my father. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really made a lot of sense when I was going around testing all these cars. The Impreza was a lot harder to get in and out of, and that did concern me.
Yeah, it's sportier, and I don't take this the wrong way. I know somebody's going to. It's a younger person's car.
Yeah,
and,
I will.
And I'm not saying you're. Well, no, I'm not saying anymore because I'm going to get in trouble. Oh, Houston, Texas. Dave says it's the AARP cashing car of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be the Outback. Yeah, the Outback just was way too big and inefficient for me. So, I kept staring at the Crosstrek going,
yes,
that might be my next car.
The Outback is small compared to the Ascent,
Yes, the
which,
Ascent is the
will
biggest vehicle they've
yeah,
made.
right, which will eclipse the sun when you pull up next to it. Um, but,
Someone had told me it was based on the Forerunner. I don't know if that's true because I don't believe this person when they say a lot of stuff like that, but I haven't heard anything otherwise, and I know,
I
because
think
it's
it's
a
wider than the
Toyota,
Forerunner. So
it could be.
would it be like the Tundra frame?
Is the Tundra what? I don't know. But with the unibody construction and whatnot, I'm not sure how much of that really makes a difference like it used to be. You know, I went on, the factory tours with the engineers and whatnot, 20, 30 years ago, and they would tell you, yeah, once you've got the frame done, once you set the wheelbase, you can build
Mhm.
anything on it that you want. I don't know if that's necessarily the case anymore because there is no frame, it's unibody. So you still have to rebuild that bottom portion of the frame no matter what.
It's the Highlander.
Oh, it's a Highlander?
Yep.
That is a big truck then.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the Ascent was that big. I knew it was big. I just didn't realize it was that big. Wow. That is giant. But in any case, yeah, but the Maverick that I've been kind of somewhat drooling over is the Sport, the Bronco Sport.
Okay.
The wheelbase seems to be different though when I look at the pictures of the two side by side. So, is it easy enough that they can just change the wheelbase now on those? I don't know. If any of the folks listening to this are auto engineers of any type and happen to know, let us know because I'm curious.
I'm going back to Billy Robson. Not his real name, by the way. Don't worry, Billy. I'm not going to out you.
You've already gotten people
Well,
interested.
no, you just know that's not his real name. You don't know what his real name is.
Yes, but the people who thought that was his real name, now they're doubting everything, and it's like, is there a reward out for this person?
Well, I'm pretty sure W4 is not your last name, Daryl. As my last name is not of the Northwest. So there you go. Good luck trying to figure out who we are in real life. Just because we say our names at the end of every episode doesn't mean anybody listens to that. So
yeah, those are our assumed
nothing
names.
to see here.
Anyway,
just finding our way says, I doubt it, giving the running gear is all Subi. Going back to the Highlander. Wonder which one.
Got it.
Okay. Back to Billy Robson or whoever he may be. I really like that trackable he has on his car, and I think I want to steal it. I've got a Cricket here. I with a couple of pieces of vinyl, I can print that up and put it together. And so I hope you don't mind.
Well, as long as
Mr.
you're not
Robson.
stealing the car, he's probably going to be happy.
No, I'm just going to take the number. Wait, no, the idea. Sorry.
You're going to, I like this idea even better. We'll all just parody everyone else's, or pirate everyone else's trackable numbers. And that way, when you're accused of the crime, it's not you, it's, Billy.
But the beauty is I have the Cricket. I can print new numbers, on a weekly basis.
Yeah. So who do you want to frame?
I'm just ornery. But I really liked how that looked. It was offset.
It really did look beautiful.
45 degrees. So it kept your rear view window unencumbered. And
now I will say that might not work on a lot of cars.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have some kind of like hatchback SUV where the car is fairly, square at the back.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to work if you have your traditional trunk. But yeah, it is.
It
beautiful.
was cut over. The glass to the. Was it on the trunk as well? Now I have to go look.
Well, yeah, because it was the hatchback.
Have I closed that? No.
It was down the C pillar.
Oh yeah. No, it was cut around the hatchback. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you just cut that out and form it there, and you can leave it, falling over whatever lines it falls over.
Maybe, but yeah, I don't know that it would look as good.
I'm not sure what Seebeck Tribe is thanking me for, but the frowny face on there lets me know she does not approve. Maybe stealing the letters.
Yeah, and framing fellow cashers.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that often.
Do we?
No.
All right, let's move on to JR and Juju, talking about how they do the trackables. We display our collectible trackables in our home. We are planning to put them on a geocaching themed Christmas tree this year. Maybe a few ammo cans underneath, trackables, and small containers hanging from the tree.
I love that idea.
I love it. I love it. And, we've heard of other cachers using like micro caches, especially. And you can get the ornaments from geocaching.com.
Mm-hmm. But
and
I mean,
others.
Almost all the path tags all have holes in them that you can hang them easily.
Yep.
Coins might be a little more interesting.
Yeah, coins. Well, coins you can probably come up with a plastic case or something. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if you can find something off the shelf for challenge coins. The military challenge coin
with a hole in it to hang it.
Right. Yeah, I'm thinking, you probably have some of those kind of things, specifically around the military market for hanging them, nicely on, memorials, that kind of stuff.
I know you can get clear plastic tree ornaments.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking the protective cases.
But you could just pop open, set one in there.
Sure.
Until your cat decides to bat it around and then the coin's facing down.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the, hang on. I got to go get this for you. But one of the trackables from this year's Christmas set is perfect for that.
And while Daryl's walking away, this makes great podcasting, by the way. I'll just rattle on. Oh, look, Daryl's back. That's
it's a Christmas tree cat.
Yeah, but what cat is that?
I can't remember, but the cat's wrapped up with the Christmas lights and the star on top. Grumpy cat.
A grumpy cat.
No, I don't think that's Grumpy Cat.
No, it kind of looks like Grumpy Cat.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Grumpy Cat generally has the rounder face.
Okay. So it's a cat wrapped around with Christmas lights and a star on its head. Looks like a Christmas tree.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. And one of the other ones is a Nope mug.
Nope.
I love the Nope. We want the Nope mug in real life. Yeah. But yeah, I love was that?
What do you think about it?
Nope. But I really like the
bottom. So as you're drinking it, hey, can you help me? Nope.
Oh, I actually have that one too, but that one wasn't as good. It was just Nope in block letters. But in any case, the Christmas trees, I think, are a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen people decorate with the micro caches and that kind of stuff. Not so much the trackables, but I love the idea of putting the trackables on the tree.
I do too. And like I say, anything with a hole in it makes an instant ornament. That's great. I'm looking over here at my geocoins, and I don't see any with holes in them for red.
My Cashley one does.
My Cashley one does.
The Cashley one is going to be too heavy, though.
Where's my Cashley one? Oh, here it is. You're right.
Yeah, it's got the hole in the pin.
Hey, how come yours isn't transparent like mine is?
I think it is. It's just I don't have my green screen turned on.
Ooh. Watch. Disappears. And comes back. Just like magic. I could take the green right out of it.
I could also do the Thor's hammer.
Oh, you are worthy. Well, something like this makes a perfect Christmas ornament because it's already Christmassy.
Yes, that works very well.
That's on a boat.
Yes, I think I have one of those. I'd have to dig it out, and I've been holding on to it, holding on to at least one of his for the next time he's on the show. Actually, it's right there.
Oh, hey, that looks familiar.
Yes.
Where would you come up with a good-looking geocoin like that? And he also sent me this one at the same time.
Yep, I've got that one as well.
Here, I should just do this because not many people will know what flag that is.
Why, it's the flag of the Mars Federation.
Oh, yes, I think it is.
Speaking of which, Lost in Space season 3 dropped today.
Did it? Oh, I'm excited.
I am so excited, and I don't know yet if I like or don't like that whole series, but I'm hooked on it. I have to watch.
Just finding our way says, I've got a drill, Chris.
I thought about doing that, but I'm never sure how to do that on most of the coins.
Well, you got to punch it to begin with. I have one somewhere. I have one of my path tags. So we did a Bigfoot path tag.
Right?
It's somewhat transparent there, as you can tell. See the white circle?
Sure.
That's supposed to be the path tag hole. And they got it wrong. And so I call it a full moon. And Wits End went and drilled it out on one of them. And it drilled out just fine, but it didn't come out looking great. The drill bit was just too rough for what's around it to make it look smooth and natural.
Sure.
That make or smooth and like it came out of production. So
yeah.
Yes, you can. It's not going to look professional.
Yeah, and I was mostly concerned with the enamel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if you just run a drill through it, you're going to chip the enamel.
Right, exactly. And
so you got to come up with something. And I had heard from someone that you can actually heat it and it works better.
Oh, I haven't tried that.
It softens up the enamel, and that way I think it kind of goes through. But I'm not sure if that's for all coins or what their success was. But someone had in this area had been getting the coins, drilling them, and then attaching them with a Houston, Texas. Dave says the water drill looks clean. So you just get a water drill.
There you go. Trying to get this to focus on, but if you look over here behind the tree, there's a partial full moon.
Yeah.
So we kept the theme throughout all the path tags.
Cool. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know what it really does, but he, as far as performance, but he was actually taking them, drilling them, and putting them in caches for people to discover, chained to the cache itself.
See, now I have no problem with that. If you drill the coin to attach it to, like an ammo can lid, or, chain it in there so it can't come out. That's a great use of actually drilling a geocoin. But if you're doing it just to hang it on a tree, it may not have the look you're going for.
Right. Yeah. And his was mostly utility, and it was cool because, there's this ring of like 5 coins in every cache. And because they're drilled, chances are no one's going to steal them because they're no longer clean and pristine.
Right.
Who's going to want that in their collection?
People say the same thing about me.
Yes, we don't want to be in anyone else's collections either.
I'm neither clean nor pristine.
Or wanted for people's collections.
That too. Now that just hurts, Daryl. So we figured out we can go ahead and drill your geocoins, hang them on the tree. I would go with, at least a 3/4 bit, trying to be able to get it over that branch. But, you choose what you want to do. You may just do a smaller hole in a and a hook, that's fine. But go for the 3/4, especially on path tags.
It took me a while to figure out what you were trying to say. I'm like, that seems awful big.
Yeah. That way you can push it right over the branch and it stays on there.
Yikes.
No?
I think it's time that we leave, because we're gonna say something that someone takes seriously and we're gonna get into trouble.
Daryl, we do that every week. Nobody ever listens to us anymore.
But that's a lot safer.
Make sure you liquid cool your drills. That's all I have to say. If you're going to drill through a lot of coins, it can be water, it can be oil. Just make sure it's cooled so that the hole there is nice and clean.
Yeah. It is metal.
Mm-hmm.
You're going through the softer enamel, but it is metal. I wonder if the oil would soften the enamel, because if it's an oil-based enamel, you might have some problems there.
Yeah.
All right, let's take off though, because we're already getting into areas where we're going to get into trouble.
Okay, fine.
We will, however, be back next week with another show, so make sure to join us on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time for another Geo Gearheads episode. Check the Cashew Maniacs website at cashewmaniacs.com for more on the Geo Gearheads, including show notes for this and all of our episodes. We love hearing from our listeners, so leave us feedback by emailing geogearheads@cashewmaniacs.com or through social media. Your support helps keep the Cashew Maniacs shows coming. Please consider becoming a patron through the link on the website to support the Cashew Maniacs shows. Geo Gearheads is produced by Chris Nuffenauer and Daryl Wanberg. This show is copyright 2021 by Daryl Wanberg. All rights reserved.